today is day 7. They've been in the incubator for 7 days now. I've got a red pen, and we're going to candle them to figure out which ones are good or bad. Not quite sure. Is this it?
Mm-hmm.
This is the flashlight we're going to use. It's
LED.
LED. I'm always saying LSD. I think that sounds better myself personally. But we're going to be using this, and we're going to put them at the end and see which ones light up, see if we can see anything in there. Got the red pen. I'm going to mark the ones we think are bad, but we'll still put them back in there, and in another 7 days we'll check them again, and I guess we'll just go from there.
The guy we got them from said he collected eggs over several days, so some of them are going to be older than others. If they don't look like they've got anything in them, we're going to wait a little longer and make sure, because they're a little behind the others, and they might. And
hens will lay for 2 or 3 days and sit on them, and I've noticed in the past with my hens hatching eggs, it can take up to 24 to 25 days simply because they don't lay them all at the same time. So we're going to mark some that we think may be bad and then recheck them again. So I put an egg carton out here so we can put them in there as we check them. And then there should be 24 eggs in here, so I should probably get another one. So here we go.
An egg. Come on. Yeah, here's a bird. Come on. Well, it looks to me like there's something in there. It's kind of dark yellow on top, dark orange. Okay.
The beeping sound you're hearing is my incubator telling me that the humidity has gone down, but I think it's because we've been opening up the thing. So that looks like, you can see that one's
That one's got veins and a little dark thing right there on top. Guess that must be okay, huh?
It's supposed to be. The humidity's gone down.
Okay. I don't know, maybe kind of hard to see that on here, I think.
Does that one look like a dark spot?
Yeah. Looks like they're working. I think they're all good.
Dad? Dad?
The first 6 seem to be okay.
Nice and warm.
Really a strange color difference. Look at this, Cindy.
those veins.
They seem to be doing good. There's a lot of little veins and kind of dark spots in there. Okay, never having done this before. All of those 24 eggs look like they're good to me. Just to compare, we got some of our own eggs. Turn the light back off. And they're just bright all the way. There's no color change in the middle or veins of any kind. They just look like little lanterns almost. Well, I think we're doing good. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
We'll find out.
The buzzing is just to let us know that the humidity and the temperature is a little low. I put the top back on. I'll wait. It's starting to come back up. I'll wait a little while and see if it does, and if it doesn't, I'll add some more humidity to it, which is this little bottle of water. The one thing I've been reading about it is the humidity that you really have to watch. Being that we live in a fairly dry climate, it's kind of a challenge. Everybody I've talked to that has done this does say the humidity is the main thing. It will stop making that hideous sound when it hits about 45. It's been running about 51% humidity in it. Just have to wait and see. Hopefully it'll stop soon.
And pretty soon we'll have a bunch of little chickens. Maybe. 3 more minutes in the automatic. We have an automatic egg turner in it. It was kind of frightening the first time when I got it. I plugged it in. I got it back in January, so I plugged it in, did the humidity, and let it run for about a week. The first time the turner was supposed to turn the eggs, it didn't right away, and so I it's like, oh shit, it's not working. It just takes it a few minutes. It stops. I don't know if it has to think about it, and it'll just all of a sudden it'll just start turning the eggs. So that's kind of scary the first few times. It's not the most expensive incubator in the world, but I know somebody else that has one similar to this. And so they've had better luck with this type. I bought it off of Amazon, I believe, and versus the real expensive ones, at least to start with. I'm not trying to hatch a bunch of eggs or hatch chicks to sell. I'm trying for ourselves to start with. She just wants the strange chicken so we can't get easily.
So these aren't the strange chicken. These are called Icelandic. They're from Iceland. We live in a fairly cold climate. They're supposed to do very well here. The eggs aren't as large as, say, this one here. I don't know if you can see it very well. This is from a golden sex link. And this one,
another light
right here, I don't know if you can see this one very well. It's got speckles in it. This one is from a Welsh summer. So the Icelandic eggs are obviously a little bit smaller, but they're supposed to be really well for this area. And I looked at my chicks, and the chicks ran anywhere from about $3.50 to $5, more or less. The eggs were, I paid $40 for 2 dozen.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy, yeah.
But some of them are a whole lot more than that. The really hard to find ones.
The real hard to find ones, or the high dollar ones, you see it stopped buzzing because my humidity's up to 45%. My temperature is 37.4 Celsius. which is a good spot for it. It's around 95 to 100, somewhere in that variation in there. So it will go up to about, it stays really about 37.5 all the way up to 37.6. So it's staying at a good constant temperature. It's just the humidity is kind of dropping here and there.
You remember what brand it is?
I got the box for it, I don't know. So, it does, I actually...
Okay, this thing is supposed to tip on its own.
It's got it here.
When the timer is up.
I actually bought a different...
But it really doesn't do it that on cue.
No. And I did buy another humidity thing just to kind of keep an eye on the humidity. This one I have not calibrated. It come from China, and obviously they don't speak English.
Yeah.
So it should start to tip here any second now. It just because it says 0. The first time it did this, where it said 000, and it should have tipped my eggs. It didn't right away. It does take a few minutes to do that, a few seconds to do that, a minute or so. And there it goes.
There it goes.
And then it starts counting down again.
It's pretty automatic. It heats it up, tells you the humidity, and then it tips the eggs back and forth every 2 hours or so, I think. And
it has a day counter. So on day 14, which is basically a week from now, we'll go ahead and recandle them. And then the following week, we'll take the timer out, I'll raise the humidity up, and we'll lay the eggs down in the bottom of it. And about day 18 to day 19, they say to do that. They can, and they do start hatching about anywhere from day 19 to day 25. You have a dozen eggs underneath your hand. Those eggs could be laid within 5 or 6 days of each other. And so I have found when I have a hen brooding, I'll wait about 25 days to see what happens. And if she leaves the nest, then she's kind of done.
Our own chickens have hatched out quite a few, but this is the first time we've ever done one of these mechanical incubators before. But we have hatched out chickens, just not this way.
No.
It's been way more natural where the chicken does it itself, but you can't help but take a look every now and then and kind of
exciting.
kind of want to try to help them out of the shell, but they say not to do it.
No. And they say only do it at absolutely possibly that's the only thing left to do, and don't take the whole shell off. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just kind of take the top off of them so they can get some air, but I'll let them basically kick the rest of the way out. I found that out the hard way, by the way. It wasn't something that I figured out. It's like anything else, it's trial and error. One year I had a bunch of chicks hatched and then decided to go live with the turkeys. That didn't work so well because the hen was really upset with the turkey hen about them stealing their chicks on them. So that was interesting. I ended up gathering the chicks, putting them back in. I didn't have the chicken church at the time. I had a different type. So what I had to do was gather them all together, and I actually put a board in there to keep them together because that way they will get to stay with the hen. The funniest thing that all the years I worked in the feed store, a lot of people would buy chicks to put under their hens. And it's generally not the hen that rejects them, it's usually the chicks that reject the hen. So a lot of times I would tell people to make sure you put them under at night when it's dark out, and they will accept the hen quicker. I've only had a few incidents where they didn't, and I ended up having to put them in our brooder. So hopefully this works out. We'll find out in a couple weeks.
When do we want to candle them again? Another week?
In another week, in 14 days, we recandle them.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, keeping our fingers crossed. So far, from what I can tell, they look good, but
there's only one or two.
We don't know for sure.
There might be 3 eggs in there that are really iffy. The guy that I got them from, he said he had about 45 to 65% hatch rate in incubator, 75 to 85% hatch rate under his hens. And that's about what I get under my hens. They don't all hatch out and stuff. So see you in another week. Hopefully.